Oh
Take
my
two.
God, we are live. This is take two because take one did not work. It completely fell flat on its face, and yeah. So this is Game It All presents Tech It All, our new tech-related show podcast. It's going to be a weekly podcast. I'm your host, Pino 25 from the Game It All podcast. And in this new show, we're going to be talking about tech-related stuff. So computers, hardware, software, games, and other
Cars,
awesome
cameras, right?
anything tech-related that you would see at CES. Let's go with that. And other awesome stuff.
You might want to tell them what CES is.
The Consumer Electronics Show. It is a trade show held in Las Vegas every year in January that all sorts of tech manufacturers show off their new products and go, oh, hey, you know what? This will make your life better. We have a blender with a radio and a toaster built into it, which will make your life better.
It's an interesting combo.
So pretty much, I don't know. So our new show is going to be us talking about what is awesome about tech, what we love, what we hate, and and share some ideas and lights and views and all sorts of awesome stuff. So and this is our first episode. So this episode, we're still trying to figure out how we're doing our show. So we were planning on talking about brands that we like and dislike and what we use in our day-to-day, lives with our stuff. For like phones to PCs to laptops to tablets to monitors to all the awesome stuff. And peripherals. So yeah. Let's start, I guess. Oh yeah. So I'm Pino 25. Tell your names to the people. Well, we know you.
Adelaris.
And I'm Ricky, the new guy.
The new guy. He is on the awesome new tech podcast. So we welcome him aboard onto our new adventure of awesomeness.
Long overdue, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The tech podcast. I mean, we talked about this last August.
Yes, we did talk about the tech podcast in August that we would want to do this, and we've gotten around to it and made it happen because it's my baby. It's my baby. Dingo ate my baby. So let's start this. Let's start talking about something. I have no idea if this is working or not. I have not gotten word to see if our stream is working. Is it working? Because it wasn't working last time, and we talked for like 10 minutes, or 12 or 13.
It was like 13, yeah.
Damn it, I said 12 and 14. So close. So yeah, we were talking about what we use. Okay, so I guess it is working. Okay, so we are live. Awesome. All right, so we were talking about headphones of what we use. Do you want to recap that, or
might as well.
All right. So quickly, my day-to-day life, I use for over-the-ear. I use my Steel. Is it Steel Series? Yeah, Steel Series. My Guild Wars 2 branded Steel Series headphones. I really like them. They're really nice. They fold, and you can unplug the cable, which is nice. And for my buds, I use my Sennheisers that I've had for about a year and a bit. So they work really nice, and I use them day to day. Adelaris, what's your...
I use the Accent cat ears primarily. About $150, and while not the best performance for the price. These are obviously designed more for style and the fact that you can open blast sound.
So
At work, I use. God damn it, cat! Get out of there. I use a pair of these earphones I got with the Samsung S6 Edge, which
Galaxy, yeah.
this thing here, and it works phenomenally. So
Oh, and yes, I do have the Galaxy S6, not the Edge, and I do have the same headphones, and they're phenomenally amazing. But I do use my Sennheisers a lot more. So, but they are very nice headphones.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And I use Corsair Vengeance Wireless, the 2000, for my headset, which is currently being held together by superglue.
wow, nothing but the best. Come on.
Nothing but the best.
That's how it works. Like my wife, I had to super glue her glasses because she dropped them and she cracked the frame. So, nothing but the best. Use the super glue.
Nothing but the best. And for my music listening earbuds, I use TT Pods, which are a Chinese brand.
Okay.
But
Cool.
they're good. They're a really good brand.
Well,
I can't complain.
as long as, you can be like a weird, odd brand, but if it does what you need it to do and it sounds amazing, why the hell not?
I've had them for a year and a half, and I can't complain.
And they
Best
haven't
sounding earbuds I've ever had.
they haven't died. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Okay, so that's what we do for sound. All right, let's continue with
Keyboards.
the tickety-kickety keyboards.
Click.
Click, click. So for my main keyboard, for my gaming rig, I mainly use my good old school IBM non-mechanical keyboard, but it still weighs a ton.
And the keys still click, right?
Yeah, they
Oh yeah, there you go.
yeah. So it's not a Model M. I've been looking for a Model M for the past couple years, but I haven't been able to find one that I can afford, nor it's in really good shape. So, but if I can find a Model M that's in really good shape and that I can afford, I will definitely buy it, because they're indestructible, and they weigh 10 pounds. You can beat people with it. Adelaris?
I use the Logitech G19, mostly because it had a fancy little monitor built into it. But it works fine for me.
Does the job.
And I guess to go with the keyboard, the mouse combo is also important. I use the Logitech Hex, which gives me basically the function of 1 to 6 on my thumb, which actually helps a lot if you play a game like League of Legends. You could just key map to your thumb, so you don't really have to reach out with your fingers on the keyboard.
Really, any RTS game.
For the most part, yeah.
And I use, for my keyboard, a Corsair K95 with the black galvanized cover instead of the silver one. And it's got 3 separate profiles, 18 macro keys on the side. And for my mouse, I use a regular Razer adder, which is falling apart, like my headset.
Cool.
It'll randomly stop working. I just gotta like.
And we lost his connection. He hit so hard that we broke his physical connection to us. So hopefully he can link, and he reconnected.
I banged myself out of the Hangout.
So as I was saying, you hit the mouse so hard that you essentially eradicated yourself from the connection.
Yeah.
Not his finest moment.
There you go. What have we learned? You can hit it, but you can't hit it too hard. And for my mouse, I use a Logitech, not top of the line mouse, but like a gaming, I don't know. I don't remember what it was called. because there's no words on the bottom stating what kind of model it is. But yeah, it's got buttons on the side, and it's decently nice and comfy. So
That's all that matters.
it does what I needed to do. I can change the speed of moving around. I got 2 buttons on the beside the scroll wheel, and it's nice and comfy in my hands, I guess.
Well, that's all that matters, really.
Yeah. Okay, so let's continue with what we like for, I don't know, what you want to continue with.
Didn't we start with the AMD versus Intel?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
did do processors. So what are you running in your rigs?
I'm running the Intel 4770K, the Haswell chip, which is unlocked. Unfortunately, at the time I couldn't afford a aftermarket CPU, and I constantly forget to get one.
You mean CPU cooler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, forgot a word there. But I constantly keep an eye out because I'm really interested with what Intel will do with the next E series chips.
Yes, for sure. I am currently running, well, in my tower, I'm currently running a AMD Phenom X6 1100T, which is rocking 3.3 gigahertz. I haven't done really anything to it. And I got a big honking Cooler Master heatsink thing that has a 120 on the top and a 120 on the bottom, so it keeps the chip nice and cold because it's a stupid AMD and they run hot. Surprise, surprise! Yeah, it runs really decently nice compared to what I usually expect from AMD. But I've had AMD for a long time, so I don't know. It does the job. And in my laptop, I have an Intel chip, and my next system will be an Intel. So, but yeah.
Cool.
And Rick.
And me. I'm running, well, it's an older PC, but it gets the job done. I have an i5 3570K overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz using a Corsair H100i aftermarket cooler.
Yes.
Or is it the 110i? I don't remember exactly which one it is.
Yeah, the awesome all-in-one water-cooled.
Yeah, like the 240 millimeter.
Yeah,
intercooler.
Yeah.
And my CPU is running really cool at 32 overall right now.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It barely exceeds 40 when I game. So.
Yeah. Well, and also an i5 is a really nice, solid chip that's affordable. It's not crazy.
Well, that's why I bought it.
There you go.
Yeah, when I built this rig, I was on a budget and I really needed a new PC. It was either blow my video card budget on an i7 or get a reasonable i5.
Yeah, and
i5.
That's one of the show ideas that I want to do in the future of a budget-based PC of what we think that you could spend and get an amazing system that crushes all sorts of crap.
It would be better if you had about 2 or 3 different price points for those builds.
Yeah, like I want to do different builds. Like we could do a really cheap build at like $300-400 that would be a console equivalent,
or
and then
crush any console.
Pretty much, and then we'd have like a $500 or $600 build, and then $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, like, I also want to have different shows of, let's do a small form factor build of, like, Mini ITX, because that's probably going to be my next build. I've been really interested in Mini ITX lately, as is a lot of the internet also.
Yeah. New craze.
Well, the AMD Nano makes it easy and actually doable now.
Yeah, but I don't want the Nano. I want a 980 Ti.
Well, I'm talking about the form factor for, like, you usually don't see the powerful cards packed into a little package like that.
Yeah, no. And the Nano was a phenomenally amazing card for the size. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So form factor. Let's go with case. Let's talk about cases.
Cases, should I start?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. Well, my current computer is is inside of a Thor 2. I don't even know what brand makes it or what company. But my ideal case would be a Lee and Lee.
Oh yes, they are
Yeah,
beautiful.
definitely. They're nice and sleek.
Did you see the boat case that they have released? They showed off at CES.
Yes, I've seen that. Oh shit, I wouldn't want it, but that was fucking nice.
But that's Leon Lee. They are a very odd, bizarro company that goes, well, we don't want to follow the norm of a case. We're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah. So right now I am currently running a big honking mofo of a case. I'm running a Cooler Master half 932, which is about 3 feet high. It's on wheels. It's like a server case. And
that's the big one.
It's a big motherfucker. And like on the top of the case, well, I got 3 230 mil fans, one on the top, one on the front, and one on the side panel. And like the whole thing frickin' weighs a ton. So that's kind of why I'm looking more into getting a small form factor thing to put on my desk compared to that thing.
Yeah, that was the first case I ever used in my first build, the half 932.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually using one from a similar family. It's the half 32M, which is smaller, but it has the same cooling capacity.
Yes. And I don't get me wrong, it's an amazing case. It keeps everything cold. Like you could be in the middle of the summer and get close to it, and you could feel the cold air coming off of it.
The airflow is crazy in that case.
My only one complaint I had with mine. Sorry, my microphone got weird for a second there.
No, that's fine.
The only complaint I had is that my top fan, after the first few months, started making a bit of noise, which wasn't an issue for a long time. I would just slap the top once in a while and be fine. But a couple weeks ago, I got to the point I just had to disable the top fan, and it went up maybe 1 degree in total ambient temperature. So it really, like, the rest of the case is so good at cooling that even without the top fan, it didn't need it.
It's a nice open.
Yeah, mine started doing that. That the fan on the top, my 230, started like kind of clicking and grinding.
Yeah, and if you slap it, it goes quiet for a few hours, and then
a while. Yeah, I usually open the side panel and just touch it and stop the fan from spinning for like a second, and then restart it, and it's fine for a couple days.
I think it's just something to do with the bearings inside of the fan, because the way it's installed, it's almost upside down.
Yes, and all the weight.
Yeah, I think just after like a year or two of being used, it just falls apart.
Yeah, but I've had the case since 2011, so
it lasted a long time though. Otherwise.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like it's an amazing case, but it's just so frickin' big, and the side panels are super heavy. So if you need to open it, it's like opening a barn door. But tons of expandability. I love having the wheels on it, because if you need to move it around, it's just like whoosh. But I do want something a lot smaller on my next build. So
I disagree. I say full size or go home.
Well, it's the whole thing of my first system that I built in 2005 was all about the lights, the glamour, and the galore. It was Las Vegas in a case. I had LEDs left and right and center, and this one I'm like, no, hell no, no lights, no nothing. And it was big, massive, and tons of cooling. And on the next one, I'm like, I want something tiny that's gives me all the capabilities of this, but in a small form factor. And then the next one will probably be like, I want as big as possible. I want a server room.
Yeah, it's really funny just like how our priorities changed over time. Because like in the early 2000s, it was all about having the most lights and big case. And now it's at the point that it's easier to just have a smaller form factor, like at least a medium size to small size. And if you need a ton of room for hard drives or stuff, just have a separate NAS setup.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
that way,
much.
if you need, it's more versatile because it gives you more options of where you want to put your computer, especially if you're in our conditions where we basically have studios instead of desktops. And sometimes we just want to move it around, but if the computer is too big, you don't have much option of what to do with it. And this also applies too if you want to take it to a LAN party or something. You got to
Yeah, that's
lug
just
that thing
it.
every time.
And like it's just really heavy.
Yeah.
It's like because my case weighs at least 20 some pounds, and that's all I could say is ugh. So, no. So is that what we got for just
Well, if we're going to cover our computers, might as well cover monitor.
okay?
And video cards.
Cool.
We haven't talked about video cards.
The video cards is a big topic because
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We can easily dedicate an entire cast just to video cards.
Yeah, but let's just talk about what we're currently using.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, well, I guess I'll go first. For video card, I'm using the GTX 770, which is started to get a little dated, but it's still pretty powerful, especially for streaming, and it still handles shadow play really well with
Yeah.
game capture.
I can vouch for that.
For monitors, I'm dual monitoring, but one of them is actually an RCA 3D TV with a 2 millisecond display lag. So it actually handles very well. The only thing you got to do is actually readjust the overscan.
yes, because it's a TV.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's 42 inches of real estate, so I don't have to look very hard to find stuff. For a side monitor, I just use a 19-inch letterbox ViewSonic. But that's only because I couldn't connect my other TV, which is a 48-inch. So, yeah, it's
Okay.
a little bit overkill. Like, 90 degrees of my room is just monitors side by side.
Yeah,
Cool.
so big you need to sit on the bed.
Sit couple meters away.
Oh, fuck that shit. I'm touching my monitors right now with both my hands. they're right in front of me. It's IMAX in here.
All
What do you
right,
got
so
next?
all right, well, I'm using a 7970 for my video card, the R9 7970.
Nice.
And for my monitors, I have a 24-inch antique Acer. I mean, I bought this like 10 years ago, 1080p, and I got a 19-inch as well as my
Okay.
second monitor.
Cool.
And
Cool.
that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What brand was the video card? We forgot to do brands for video cards.
ATI for.
Like what? Who built it? Was it Sapphire or like Asus or
Oh shit, that's a tough one. Twin Frozer. Who made the Twin Frozer?
MSI?
MSI.
MSI.
There you go.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember.
It's either EVGA.
Yes, EVGA.
Hey, I am damn
Yeah.
good. I'm winning at this. So right before Fallout came out, I upgraded. I actually have the box right here. That's the best part. I have the box right here. I bought a brand new Asus GTX 960, the 4 gig edition, because before that I was running Crossfire, which was hands down one of the biggest regrets of my life for tech stuff. Like same as SLI. It's only for people that can afford the 80 or above and that have a crap load of money. But yeah, I had two HD Radeon 6870s running in Crossfire from Sapphire, and then it just wasn't cutting it anymore after all these many years later. So I got my Asus 960 running at 4 gigs, and oh my god, is it ever amazing! Oh. It is beautiful. And also the video card is idiot proof because Asus on the back of it where you plug in your 6-pin PCI Express has a little light right above it that if the cable is not plugged in, the LED is red. If it's plugged in, it's white. So Asus doing idiot proof.
Plug and play to a
And
whole new level.
pretty much it's stupidly plug and play. It's hilarious. The other cool feature about the card that I really like is 0 decibel. If it goes below a specific temperature, the card doesn't spin. Like the fans don't spin, so I like that. And it's really really quiet and runs really nice. So. And then for my monitor, I'm only running one because I had two before. I had a 26-inch Asus old school resolution 1920 by 1200, 16 by 10, and I brought that to work because I was like I am not running a tiny little 15-inch laptop running at not by 900. It had a crappy resolution. So right now I'm only running my 24-inch full 1080p Asus LED beautiful sexy monitor. So yeah. That was a lot of spiel.
So no one here running 4K yet.
No, I cannot afford it.
Eventually, but the monitors still have to drop a decent amount.
Yeah. Honestly, I find 4K is still really overrated. When I upgrade, it's going to be with the 1440p instead of 4K.
Yeah, because essentially 1440p is that nice sweet spot right now
Yeah.
at the moment. And
Yeah, like-
also... Continue.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to say. Like a 1440p 30-inch monitor, it's just perfect. You can't ask for more for PC.
Plus, it doesn't help that there's still a bit of confusion over the actual standard of what considered 4K.
4K, yeah, that's true.
Because
There's
there's a
two
difference
different 4K.
between 4K for TVs and 4K for like
Monitor.
monitor output.
Yeah.
So,
And also the video card, the amount of power you need to get to a 60 frames per second.
yeah,
well,
you need
solid.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
need a high-end card for sure.
you at least need a 980 Ti, to be able to get that, and you can't crank the game all the way. You could only maybe high, medium, high. So you're not really getting that crisis 4K, y'all. So we'll see, but right now 1440p is that beautiful sweet spot that you should be looking at.
Definitely.
So
Couldn't agree more.
yeah, it's beautiful, and those monitors are decently affordable, a lot more than 4K.
Yeah.
And
another thing to watch out for too, though, is that ultra wides are becoming more popular, especially curved ones.
Mhm.
And those take a different resolution path of their own because a lot of them I find don't have the height real estate that the rest of people do, so instead they stretch it out horizontally, but technically you're actually getting less resolution for it because the more square something is, the more resolution there is. But
yes.
if it's stretched out wide, the resolution isn't as high, which is fine if you're running games for it, because that means there's just less work the computer needs to do. But if you're trying to watch videos and stuff, it's either going to clip the top and bottom, or a lot of the videos will black bar the sides, so it kind of defeats the point of the monitor.
Yes, but those monitors are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, they are, definitely. But I think the ultra-wide monitors were made for a different market. I think most gamers will stick to having multiple monitors instead of an ultra-wide.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or at least two ultra wides, but I mean,
Well, yeah.
it's going to make it tough to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can
Right.
get the IMAX experience.
The wraparound.
Yeah, and go.
Is that what people do?
I don't know. Have the face.
Hello, Clarice.
Okay, and we've gone too far. Well, it's kind of like if you want the wraparound, you can get the AMD like the Ifinity stuff and flip them vertically and get like 5 or 6 going at once and be like.
I've seen not in person but online. I've seen some people do that. They'll take rotatable monitors with almost no border in between them, or I guess in some cases they'll even remove it themselves manually. But I guess you got to 3D print the casing yourself, and they'll just line like 4 or 5 of them in portrait mode, side by side.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen that as well.
It's pretty cool. That's another thing. Like they advertise monitors as borderless, but there's clearly borders on them, and that pisses me off to no end.
Well, yeah, but you look at other monitors, like mine has a bevel of like maybe an inch on my Asus.
But even then, an inch is pretty decent, like as far as bevels go. But if you're gonna try to advertise monitor sets to be used as side by side monitors to make a wide
wide picture.
Why is it so hard to create, monitors that could just snap together or just be side by side and have almost no bevel, no frame?
I don't know, cause I don't know, cause the companies are weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I've looking at Ifinity and stuff like that. I've only done Ifinity twice because it was the biggest pain in the ass to set up, because I had to trick my video card because you needed an active display port, and I didn't have that because I didn't have a monitor that had supported a display port.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a fun time. So yeah, Ifinity is tough to fuck with.
Yeah.
So yeah, video cards. Video cards are awesome. We'll totally have a whole episode dedicated to awesome video cards of the past and the present and the future. Next up is what?
I don't know.
I honestly thought you had this all thought out.
I don't know. I was like, okay, we'll do brands. Brands are awesome.
Brands. What about brands?
Yeah, brands. What brands do you go that you hear? Oh, hey, they're releasing this, and you go, oh my god, that's awesome.
Asus.
None.
Asus.
Yeah.
I love their Republic of Gamer stuff, especially because as far as brand name goes, it's one of the companies I find that they generally have the best price for their performance while maintaining brand integrity. Usually, like, as soon as you hear, oh, it's a brand name, well, obviously they just tax on $ like Apple does just for the name.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's hard to find companies that don't do that.
Because, yeah, like, I gave them $1,400 for a laptop, which was the Republic of Gamers, the one that came out like 2 years ago that had the 660M video card.
I also love the wedge design that they have, because you can put that shit on your bed and it's not going to kill itself.
Yes, the cooling system on that laptop is beautiful. It does not fry your crotch, because it doesn't get hot underneath or above. It gets hot. The fan, because it weighs 10 pounds, but it's got hands down the best cooling system on almost any laptop that I got to play with.
All right. So no toasted nuts then. Is what
No roasted nuts over an open flame. because of the hot laptop. And yes, like the whole price point, it was actually affordable for what I got compared to, let's look at other brands of laptop. Let's look at your Alien, which is
That's not a brand. That's a scam company.
uh,
That's
it's
no more.
it's Dell going, give us all your money. We have aliens. Ta-da.
Here, have cheap RAM. Pay us $300.
Pretty much. Then you also have stuff like Razer, the frickin' the what's the blade? Is it called? Yeah, it's the blade. That thing is expensive.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What's the Razer Blade?
The like Razer, the company that make peripherals such as
Yeah,
keyboards,
I'm
mouse. They
looking.
they make a blade. It's called they
Oh,
make a laptop called the Blade.
yeah,
I
yeah. I'm
think
looking it up right now. Okay.
I think it's the 14 or something. That's the size of the screen. It's like the original ones were really expensive. I don't know if the new ones are actually more affordable.
I have no clue. I don't really believe in gaming laptops. Oh wow.
Did you go? Oh wow, it's expensive.
I went. Oh wow. I don't even know which model I'm looking at right now, but it's $3,500 Canadian.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me find which model this is. Um,
We just lose Korey. I'm
did
guessing
we?
we.
Oh,
Yep, we
yeah.
just did.
He
Because
must
the
have slammed his his mouse down.
because when he drops, the audio level changes.
Hey, you're right.
I wish Google would stop dropping me. That'd be nice.
It's an amazing
Oh,
phenomenon.
it's the Razer Blade QHD Plus, the 256 gig model.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the 512 gig is $4,000.
Huh?
Wow, that is a lot for a small upgrade.
They're crazy bananas for pricing, and I'm like, these people are nuts.
They really are. And I'm sure a lot of people are buying.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, like, yes, I know you were well, and it's got a weird freaking resolution. Like if you get the QHD Plus Touch, it's 3200 by 1800. And I'm like, that's a weird resolution.
Yeah.
And all you get for a video card for that freaking price is a 970M. You are not getting a 980. Like seriously. Like I don't know. I just don't know. They want all my monies. But
Well, at the end of the day, that's what they are, right? A company.
I know. But
Yeah.
if you want good performance, good solid performance on the go, I like my Asus. I also really like the MSI. The MSI laptops are decently nice. I know it's MSI making a laptop, but they seem decently nice. You get some decently nice performance for the price. And also, Gigabyte makes a laptop also. That's
Yeah.
not that bad. So, there are options.
I have not bought, let alone used, a laptop in a long time. So
Yeah, I was
yeah.
going to school and they said, "Oh, hey, you need a laptop." So I was like, "Oh, hey, I wanted one of those for a long time. I'm buying the Asus gaming laptop." Bad idea because you get 2.5 hours of battery life and it weighs about 10 pounds. So,
Jeez.
but the awesome thing is, if you crack open the back plate and look at the video card, it's an actual card that plugs in. It's not soldered on the board. It plugs into the board. So if you want to upgrade to another card, you can actually take it out and upgrade, which is super cool. Cool. So yeah.
Definitely is.
But yes, I do. I do absolutely adore Asus. They make some great products. I like their motherboards, their video cards, and whatever else they sell. Oh, and also their phones. Their phones are really awesome. So
Phones. Something
other
else.
brands?
Other
Yeah.
brands? Yeah, I don't
Other
know.
brands?
Whenever I shop, I tend to just do my research there and then find the part,
Okay.
look it up.
Reviews help a lot. Most people are pretty reliable about them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially nowadays, a lot of websites will have um, reviews from certified buyers, like people who actually bought the part,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
really helps.
Yeah, and I watch a ton of like benchmarking reviews of that they actually try the product and see what it can do compared to
Other
other
competitors, yeah.
versions. Yes. A lot for video cards, a crap load for video cards. And I just watch them just because it's just entertainment factor more than anything. Because I'm intrigued to see who's winning. Because it's all a game about who's gonna win, who's gonna sell the better, who's gonna have the better product. So
Yeah. Which is good for us.
yeah, because we actually get to see what's amazing. You're not just like 15 years ago when stuff was getting released. You could look at magazines. That was mainly it of information, and who knows if the magazine was getting essentially paid off by the manufacturer.
Which happened often. Or
Yeah.
late night television. You guys ever seen
Yes.
reviews on those? I miss watching reviews.
So that's the way it goes. And now we have so much more information, and you have a lot more. Yes, there's a lot more different products that you can buy nowadays, but you get a lot more information, and you can make a much more informed choice to say this is the right product that I need to buy.
Exactly.
So that's what it's all about. But yeah, I do really like my Asus. In my rig for motherboard, I'm using a Gigabyte board, a AM3 Plus motherboard, so it works nice. There's lots of PCI Express slots, but yeah, I've had a couple Gigabyte boards across over the years, and they're really solid. So
Cool,
Yep.
cool.
My first board was a Gigabyte.
Adalaris, oh, continue.
I'm trying to recall off the top of my head what motherboard I had, but I can't remember. It's been a while.
Well, I'm using currently my current build an ASRock Extreme 3, I want to say.
Okay,
I paid $70 for it, brand new.
that's not bad.
No, it was a budget build, and
Yeah.
it was a budget build. It works, does the job, and I've never had any issues. And it was incredibly easy to overclock my i7, not i7, my i5, I mean.
Yeah.
I was happy about it.
That's the one thing that they're known for is they're tweakable. You can play with them, and
Very easily. It's not complicated whatsoever.
yeah. And my board that I had from my last build was a DFI board. I love that thing. That thing was tough as nails, and like I use it in my media center nowadays, and it's not dyed, and it's built rugged as shit, and they had the neon like the UV built into it, so if you had a UV light and shined it over, it would glow,
Nice.
which was super cool. And they had like the best branding for it. It was LAN party, and they had the most awesome shit for it. It was amazing. I loved it. But DFI said, yeah, we're not making consumer boards anymore. We're making boards for big equipment and business. And I was like, bastards. I'm like, I wanted another one. Loved it. So yeah. Okay. I don't know. Where are we going with this?
I don't
I'm
know.
just following your lead.
I don't know because I need to start scripting this. Oh my god.
You
do
should
like a
have
little
a little bullet
checklist.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a checklist next time, and we'll actually have an awesome topic because we're beta testing. That's what we're doing. We're awesomely beta testing. So yeah, well, let's talk about brands for video cards.
Uh, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a shitload, and you can have a very small form factor, very massive, long, awesome, cooled cards. You could have some with water cooled and air and all sorts of different stuff.
I don't. It's such a huge topic. Like I don't even know where to
It
start.
is.
Because like I mean, as far as the gaming world is, the two primary things you're always going to bring up is the CPU and the GPU. uh, Obviously, like certain companies have favoritism for certain aspects. Some have better cooling, some have better overclocking design. Uh,
Yes.
a lot of the time, I find though the differences between them, like if you're talking about the brands but using the same reference, most of the time it's going to come down to a couple percentage differences. So really, a lot of it is up to your personal preference of which company you just either
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
look of
like
the card is, or just what
warranty.
warranty, or I just happen to really like this brand, so I'll just grab that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh, the only real difference is that the the branded ones often have better cooling than the reference ones.
Yes,
Definitely.
Uh,
because well,
yeah,
especially if you're looking at like let's say the Titan X, Nvidia didn't let anyone do non-reference, and they run really hot because the Nvidia reference cooler is not the best
yeah,
compared to like let's say a 980 Ti from like Gigabit that has the WindForce or the Twin Frozer from MSI or one of these other coolers that they're getting better performance from these cards compared to the Titan X, which is the superior card, but they're getting better performance because it's got a better cooler and keeps the card running a lot better.
yeah.
So
The Titan X is extremely powerful, but for most people, it's as far as I'm concerned, it's overkill.
it's a
Uh,
crap a load.
Well, as
yeah,
far as I know, it's not even that good for gaming. It's a workload, a graphics processor.
yeah, that too. Uh, it handles stuff like 4K better though because of its just raw ability to just churn data. So
Well,
unless you're like rocking two 4K TVs or well monitors, uh, you may not need that much power.
and it's
Exactly.
got 12 gigs of frame buffer.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like a lot, if you're gonna run 4K, you need a lot of frame buffer and just uh, memory capacity for your
Yeah.
cards, which
For
is what these HBM2 cards are going to have.
Yes, you have the ability to go up to 16 gigs
wow.
in theory.
How much
Yeah.
RAM are you guys running in your PC?
Uh, like
I
RAM.
believe I'm at
RAM.
16.
I am at 12. I'm running it.
12. I am
DDR3.
at 32, believe it or not.
Jeez.
I paid.
What?
No, yeah, seriously, when I built this PC, I got 32 gigs of G Skill at 2300 megahertz DDR3 RAM for $100
Where?
Who
on a
did you
Newegg.
rob?
Who did I? Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was shopping for parts. And I was like, "What's the cheapest RAM I can find?" Oh, 32 gigs of G Skill for $100.
That that like was there like
A Black Friday.
an 80% discount?
I don't even remember. It was a while ago. That was like 4 years ago now.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have a. I know 12 gigs is an odd number, but I have an 8 gig set of G Skill and I have a 4 gig kit of Corsair.
Okay.
And yeah,
Mine are
because
G Skill as well, Sniper series.
Yeah, that's what I have, I believe. It's
I
got
have the.
the gun on the RAM, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I have.
nice.
Yeah, mine's just the regular red Ripjaw.
The Ripjaws are a good series too.
I know, I really like it. It's very solid memory coming from a more affordable
Yeah.
brand of RAM
Well,
compared to Corsair. And
when it comes to RAM, from experience, as long as it works and it does what it has to do, it's good RAM. There's no
yeah,
reason in buying high or brand name RAM when cheaper RAM will do the job.
Yeah, in most cases, the capacity will almost entirely matter more than just the speed of it, because
Exactly.
G.Skill had just released their DDR4 4000 series, and they ran some tests with them, and it wasn't for what computers do realistically, at least as far as gamers and consumers go. The speed didn't matter much for the extra price it would have cost. So they said that like just go with like if you're looking for a high end, just go for like the 3600s, I believe.
yeah, that's just it.
So
Um,
speed alone isn't everything when it comes to RAM. It's really complicated. But if you want the simplest terms, just get whatever's the most recent DDR type, which is DDR4 now, and
and
just stay
get
above. Uh,
enough.
yeah, uh, just get high capacities. Stay above. I would say like 2300, maybe 2600 to 3000
Yeah,
is your ideal range, and just get a lot, like 16 plus, really.
and and yeah, that's just it. And you can get 16 gigs, like a 16 gig kit now for $100, not even.
Yeah, it's really not bad now for the pricing.
So there you go. Like it's not that expensive, and you can get a crap load of RAM for not much. So let's continue on with hard drives, and SSDs.
um, I'm running excuse me, the Vertex 4 from OCZ. I bought it
Oh
2 years ago, 3 years ago now, and it's run fine for me. I know it was around the time OCZ was starting to tank, mostly
yeah,
from financial issues. But I mean, they've been bought out by Toshiba, and now they're cranking out top tier stuff again.
yeah.
Uh,
Like well,
I've had
yeah,
no issues with this one. Uh, my laptop, which I got from my sister, had also a Vertex 4, but the only reason that one let go is because the laptop was dropped and it broke the motherboard and shorted out this SSD. So the really cool story with OCZ though, it was just before Toshiba bought him. I contacted them. I said, hey, I got this here. I don't have any proof of that I bought it, but here's the serial number. I gave them some scans of what I did to try to recover the drive, and they said, hey, that's fine, bring it in, and sent it off to them, and for free they gave me back a refurbed, not Vertex, but the Vertigo, I believe.
okay.
It's another B
Well,
word, but it was a little bit more recent, and that one worked perfectly, even faster actually, and they did it for free. Just great brand to work with.
awesome. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I adore OCZ. I've had their power supplies. I'm currently rocking a 750 in my tower,
Nice.
and it's a beautiful, solid power supply. My mother has a 500 in her tower, and that one fully modular, amazing power supply. And in my media center, I have DDR1 OCZ gold plated memory. And I'm like, oh yeah,
For a moment, you said DDR, and my brain first went to Dance Dance Revolution.
Dance Dance Revolution OCZ. No, it's DDR1, but it was beautiful memory. And the power supply is an amazing power supply also. So it's kind of sad them not doing power supplies anymore and memory. They're just doing SSDs
They had
now.
like really very aesthetic memory cards, RAM chips. Actually, I remember when they used to sell orange and blue ones that looked just fantastic.
Yes, there's a big Z on the
Yeah, yeah.
on my gold-plated stuff, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Uh, Yeah, so I really like them. For hard drive, right now in this I have a WD Green 1 TB, and I also have a Samsung SSD, the not the Pro, but the other one, the non-Pro,
Okay.
and it's a 250 gig, and it's beautiful. Like you have anything installed on it, it's like awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
The next computer I'm waiting out before I build another machine. But some of the things I'm keeping an eye out are the M2 or just straight up PCIe SSDs, which are getting ridiculously fast now that NVMe is out. But
Oh
I'm
yes.
also interested in keeping an eye on XPoint. It's not going to be commercially available first. It'll be just for enterprise,
Okay.
but it's planned to be pushed down to commercial like not long after. So I would say by maybe 2018 we're going to start seeing those too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and with M.2 you can get like there's a lot of boards that have that have
Adapter.
the adapter or the socket right on the bottom of the board, so you
Yeah.
can put it on the bottom of the board and just you don't even know that the drive's there, and you have your boot SSD and it's running ridiculously fast and beautiful. So
It's almost 5 times the speed now for some of the top tier ones. Just
yeah,
because the SATA 3 drives are already saturated,
yeah,
and most laptops now, or at least like most higher end laptops, come with the M.2 not adapter, but the actual socket for it.
yeah.
Uh, just great tech to keep an eye out for, especially if you're building a machine. You don't have the newer hardware ports to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you're building a small form factor PC, you don't have to run extra cables to an SSD or a hard drive. You can just slap it on the back, and it's
Yeah,
it's out of sight, out of mind. It's just there, but you don't see it. So,
yeah.
which makes it a lot more convenient. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Rick,
So
what
my
what
turn
what are
to
you
talk
running?
about. I'm running. I've been sitting here trying to get my word in for a while. I'm just like, yep, nope, nope. They're still going. Oh,
Sorry.
no,
It's
it's
gonna happen
fine.
a lot. Get used to it.
Yeah. My power supply is an 850 watt. Just a sec here.
What?
Watt. I'm actually on UEG right now, getting a screen cap of the RAM. But my
Okay.
power supply is a Corsair HX series 850 watt, and I am running a 120 gigabyte SSD
Okay.
from
Nice.
OCZ, which is small. I need to upgrade. 120 is really not enough. And for hard drives, I have four hard drives on my PC, all doing a separate job.
Cool.
120 is actually still respectable if you're a minimalist. I actually have the 128, I believe,
Okay.
and I just got my OS and my main programs on it, and pretty much everything else, games included, can be put on
A
regular
regular
hard
hard
drives.
drive. Exactly,
Uh,
yeah, because the load is
because
smaller, which makes
the,
them
the, the
quick.
load is smaller. The only real lag most games have, are just the initial loading for the game itself, and like your initial screen transition into whatever map or whatever. The
Yeah.
only time games become hungry for raw data is during open world games, because they're constantly trying to draw in maps as you're moving.
Yeah. But even then, I have never had an issue with my hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're very well optimized for standard hard drives.
Exactly. But with my 120 gigabyte, my main problem is Steam always installing The
Oh yes.
the redistributable files from Windows. I forget what they're called. And I always have to go in and delete them because I always end up having like 10 different versions installed.
That's weird. I never had that issue.
Really?
It might be just a situational issue.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
like
come across it
certain
myself.
games use a different version and it has to keep it installed maybe. Microsoft
Probably.
Visual C++, that's what it's called. I
Yeah.
currently have 4 different versions installed.
That's weird.
Yeah. But
Oh.
yeah. But yeah, I have
But,
a hard drive for my programs, one for Steam, one for videos back when I was recording and uploading to YouTube, and one for general storage, and one for... No, that's it. That's 4. Yeah. Those are my 4
Okay.
hard drives. Keeps my computer quick.
pretty much. Yeah. Bananas.
Bananas.
Bananas. Yeah. So yeah, hard drives. Hard drives. Yeah, SSDs are awesome. You cannot go wrong with SSDs. It makes everything go so much faster.
Oh, definitely. Boot up time 5 seconds. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody argue with me a couple months ago that you can get similar boot up times on hard drives as you can with SSD. So that was fun to pull up all the numbers, but honestly, even if you run like a 5 hard drive RAID 0, you're still not going to match a single SSD.
Nope.
Well, no. That's just it. And also these people that are like, oh my god, I got my my hybrid hard drive. It's so fast. I'm like, no.
A
Straight
hybrid
up
hard
SS
drive, yeah. The best use I can think for them is either you have very limited capacity on where to plug your drives, like a laptop or something, and you need a lot of capacity while still trying to get a little bit of the SSD speed, or you're going to plug it straight into a console and just format it there.
pretty much. It's like you're better off just taking the money you're gonna spend on that and get an SSD.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're just wasting your money. Or if you could swing it, just buy an SSD and get a regular hard drive and magic.
Sambuca.
And honestly, SSDs aren't even that expensive anymore. You
No,
can
they're
easily
No.
get like
they're down to 30 to 35 cents a gig now. So and
Yeah,
they're still
that's-
dropping.
exactly. Like my next rig is gonna have a dedicated SSD just for gaming, just for Steam.
If somebody's really looking for budget-oriented solid-state drives, the Mushkin brand has a 512, I believe. That's very well priced. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It's still relatively a new card, but yeah, just look up Mushkin and whatever their most recent 512 brand is.
Yeah, I think it's like 100 and some or 100 and 200 range. It's not
I'm
that expensive.
Yeah, no, it's
looking it up right
very
now.
well priced for a solid state.
And at CES they actually showed off a 4 terabyte SSD. That's
Nice.
only going to be $500 American.
It's currently $219 on UA.
Okay, that's
Jeez.
not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 terabytes for $500 coming, I think, next year or something. End of this year, next year.
I think it's the end of this year.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a massive SSD storage solution, that's your best bet for something that's affordable.
Yep.
So yeah, beautifulness in a SSD format.
SSD.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What else? What else is there?
VR.
Oh, that's another topic altogether too.
Oh my god, VR.
There's so much VR out now.
Very true.
VR is going to be either one of two things. It's either going to be 3D, like 3D TVs a couple years ago, going, oh my god, this is the future of everything, yada yada yada, or it's going to be completely amazing and it's going to sell well.
I think
a bit of a mixed topic. Sorry,
yeah.
you go first. I've been following VRs lately, as you can tell by some of the posts on TechItall, but I'll let Pino go first on that.
Yeah, it's either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be the whole 3D thing. Yes, don't get me wrong, I have the PlayStation 3D TV that Sony sold. Uh, I paid full price for it. It works really nice. It's just there has to be enough media for me to use it, because it can be amazing, cool, and work really well, but if there's not enough stuff for me to go, this is worth it, it's gonna fail. But if the companies can come out and bring me out this device and it to work and be affordable and there'd be tons of stuff to use it with, it's gonna succeed. But it all depends on how they sell it and what the price point is and how accessible it is to the average consumer like us. So, we'll see how it goes. Adelaris, what's your...
It's a bit of a mix because it's going to have a hard time selling first. And I say this because anything that comes out brand new always has a hard time selling first for the most part. Because it's not a full proven technology yet, at least to the public eye. That being said, I had defended the Oculus Rift's pricing because there was a lot of factors to take in, more than I don't want to pay $600 for something. If you bought a PS3 brand new like I did, you paid $600 for something, So don't act like it never happens.
Or let's go back to 2007. When people bought the original iPhone, they paid $700 plus a 2-year contract.
Plus, most people hated it.
Well, that too, but that's
another topic.
They still gladly went out to the store. They still went out to Verizon or whoever down in the States and bought the phone.
Yeah.
So, and people were fine with paying that $600.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, a chunk of that comes down to brand name, because Apple can't do anything wrong unless you count everything, and and another thing to take into factor too is that like you mentioned with Sony's TV, it lacked content to put on it, but VR, what has going forward is that right now 1 in 6 game development companies are making specific VR games.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, a lot, and a lot of them are big names. And even the engine creators like
Epic?
Yes, Epic. They changed Unreal 4 to be able to support VR natively, and now everybody's using it because it's free to use, so that's even more companies that have incentive to actually jump into it. Yep. You have a ton of different solutions too, because everybody's like, oh, VR, a scary game and stuff like that. But that's not the entire thing. It's there's a ton of solutions now, which is going to make it actually kind of difficult for the average person to figure out at first, because Oculus Rift is the most well-known right now. It was the one that really pioneered its resurgence. It's been the only one people have actually been able to get commercially, with both the DK1 and DK2s. Pretty much every YouTube VR thing you've seen up until the recent few months have only been Oculus ones.
Yes.
So,
well, and I actually got to play with one for about 5 minutes because someone had a dev kit at the college last year.
Nice.
Down at Game Design, and I got to play frickin' Alien Isolation, and holy shit.
Yeah, it is not like playing on a TV at all. It's ridiculous.
It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. and that's just it. Like, it's very unique in terms of tech, because there's so many people saying, oh, I don't want to pay this for that, but I'm like, there's still going to be different price options for different models and kits and brands altogether.
Well, And that's just it. And look at people spending, no big deal. Oh, I'm going to grand on a 980 Ti. No big deal. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
And it really boils down to, like, you just have to accept that it's brand new. Like, when, let's say, a graphics card company, the Titan, for example, is the best thing I could think of. When the first Titan came out, oh, I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for a graphics card. What are you, nuts? And then it starts selling like hotcakes because people could start seeing what performance power it had over the high end stuff. So VR is going to be much the same. It's going to have a little bit of a rough time just to start with, but once people start seeing what it actually does, word of mouth is definitely powerful. Ads will be everywhere. It's like, these are not even out yet, and people want to buy them left and right. So
well, yeah,
once they're out, and maybe the first generation won't do as good as some people think, won't do as bad as others think, but by the time the second generation of it comes out in a year or two, I really think it's just going to be the same branch as consoles. Just they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah, and we'll be able to have in-store demo. That's the whole thing, that people will have it relatively available to them for them to tinker with it within the store and go, oh, hey, I actually want to invest into this.
Yeah, and sort of a side note to the whole VR thing, like, people's secondary complaint, I guess, to the initial price of it is the fact that you need good hardware to run it, because to run a decent headset, it takes about 3 times as much power as it does to run a single monitor, because it needs to run a different view for each eye, and it has to run it at least 30 frames higher than what most monitors do.
Yeah,
in order to eliminate motion sickness.
Yeah.
This, I think, will actually, again, maybe not this year, but we'll start seeing it by next year. You're going to start seeing a resurgence of computers being bought left and right, or at least upgraded or such, because computer has been sort of plateauing over the last few years.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's been plateauing over the last few years because there's not been any...
There hasn't been a push.
Yeah. And VR is definitely going to be the thing to start pushing it, so people will start upgrading their computers.
Well, again, we're
a whole new tier of computer building again, like we used to, like, years ago.
Yeah,
people were building SLI rig, Crossfire rigs, these massive rigs that don't exist anymore. We're going to be seeing a whole new race, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, because we haven't seen this since, like, the old GTX 8800 series of cards, when Crysis just came out and people were like, oh, can it run Crysis? And
no, it can't. Let's get 4 cards.
And people were just spending all this money and going, oh my god, yeah! And
see, that's exactly what I was talking about.
And basically, VR is going to be the new Crysis. Can it run VR?
Exactly.
And, well, and I don't say this much, but I'm kind of applauding HP, because they're launching a new line of desktops, which is bizarre, that has a 980 Ti and a bunch of other, like, really high-end hardware coming from HP, and I'm like, that's weird. But
yeah, there's actually quite a lot. Like, this year, I think over the next main computer event or two, you're going to start seeing a lot of just brand name sets designed specifically for at least one type of VR, if not multiple types.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the company that's pushing this a lot is, I'm gonna go with Valve. Valve is really giving this the boot. And
isn't Valve working with HTC on the Vive?
Yes, on the Vive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Not to mention, a lot of games on Steam are compatible with VR. I personally am very excited to try Elite Dangerous. I don't know if you guys know what it is.
Yes, I have it. It's amazing. It's complicated as all hell, but it's amazing.
It's not even that bad. But I have to agree, the details, the graphics, the combat is very exciting.
the game is this big. It's massive.
It is, and it just makes me wonder just how big Star Citizen is actually going to be.
Yeah.
With VR.
I'm actually curious about that game though, because if you look at the reviews inside of Steam for Elite Dangerous, they're not good. So I don't know. I don't know why. So
I think it's very repetitive, and people who play it tend to play it alone. But if you play it with a group of friends and you go out pirating together, it gets a lot more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have that exact opinion when it comes to multiplayer games and MMOs. Like, an MMO will become immediately boring to me once I can't solo anymore.
Exactly.
Because it forces you to find friends, and that's one of the reasons I stopped playing Destiny. I don't want to go online and look off game for friends.
Pretty much. And yeah. So, but yeah, that's. Yeah.
See, that's why you need your own crew when you start playing online games.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to be my crew once you once Pino updates to something usable?
What do you mean something usable?
I'm joking. That's actually
something
Luke.
that's not AMD.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, this is a complete comment to Luke. Luke is running a Acer laptop thing.
Laptop, yeah.
Like it's one of the original Ultrabooks. It has a first generation i5 mobile chip in it, and it's a piece of. Well, at the time, like okay, let's go with this. At the time, it was a very high-end notebook thing that was very mobile. But my sister-in-law, her daughter, dropped the laptop, and the screen half the screen doesn't work. There's a bunch of stuff that stopped working, so I essentially repurposed the laptop into a desktop, and Luke's desktop died. So I'm like, oh, here, just use this for now. So, yeah.
It's
good friend. That's all it is. Good friend.
Honestly, though, I mean, like, the best thing you can do with a machine you're not using it is if you know someone that doesn't have a machine, period, just let them borrow until they can afford their own. That's exactly what I do with my old computer. I just put it together and said, here, I'm not using it actively at the moment, and just share it until you get on your feet.
His old Acer Tower, the motherboard, essentially it had intermittent like shorts, and it stopped working. Like, it would boot up sometimes, and then some other times it just did not want to do anything. So I'm like, yeah, you got a bad board, and there's no point in fixing it, because he had an old second generation AMD X2. AMD dual core from like way back in 2007. So I'm like, there's no point in hell of replacing the board, because you will not, number one, not find a board that will, support the CPU and RAM. So your best bet is just to take this laptop and use that until you can buy a new computer.
Pretty much.
So, and if he buys a new computer, then he can play XCOM 2, because it's a PC exclusive.
Yeah, which is selling for $80, so I'm gonna be waiting.
Yeah, until Steam sale, and they go, oh hey, do you like $29.99? I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a good price.
See, they haven't been doing that a lot lately to fresh titles. They've been going down maybe 30% at most. But
well, they kind of have to. I'm pretty sure they're contracted.
They don't want to lose money on it. It's gonna sell anyhow. But I don't know. I'm stingy when it comes to video games. I don't really buy unless it's super cheap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's it. The way she goes.
That's the way she goes.
But like, I think this is. Yeah, I think this is how the show's gonna work. We're going to have what we're passionate about.
A bad time.
And then we're just gonna go at it.
Yeah, we're gonna actually have a subject. I want to talk more about those years of when Crisis 1 came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was an exciting time because of...
It really was. I built my first PC. Sorry, I'm interrupting here, but I built my
Go
first
right
PC just to play Crysis on max settings. My first video card was a GTX 295, the first card to play it on Ultra.
Yes, and I own a 285, and that thing is beautiful. And the
Oh.
funny what?
Yeah, that card, the 295, still excels today. It's a shame it's only DX9, but other than
Yeah.
that, it's an excellent card.
And the funny thing with my 285 was I went to a flea market and it was in a box. It was in a Zotac box that was for a 560, GTX 560. And I looked at the box and there was a $20 sticker on it. So I opened the box and I'm like, that is not a 560. And I'm like, it's a big card and it looks like a 200 series, and I'm like, okay. So I asked the guy, I'm like, how much do you want for it? He's like, $20. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I took it. Had no idea what it was. It could have either been a 250 up to a 280.
It didn't matter. For $20 for a 200 series, it's a steal.
I didn't care. So
Yeah.
when I brought it home, and there was no markings on the card saying what kind of anything it was, because it was from an OEM. It was from Dell, I'm guessing. And so I searched up the serial number, like the model number and whatnot, and it was the 285, and it came from the old XPSs when Dell actually made awesome gaming towers, not
When was that? I don't remember those times.
when they had their big red awesome gaming behemoths, but right before they bought Alien.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So at that, like the 280, like the 200 series was the last generation of Dell making awesome towers. So yeah, and then I searched up on Amazon to see how much this card was worth, and it was still like $300 at the time, and I'm like, $20 worth 300, winning, completely winning. But yeah. And yeah, I've had the cards for the past 3 years, and it's worked just fine. Best $20 ever.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
But yeah, so and then like and stuff like that. It just the passion around different time periods of getting hardware and stuff and going, oh yeah. So yeah, that's what our show is all about.
But it'll be a lot more
Yeah, actually,
streamlined in the future.
yes, because this is a beta. Like
Yeah.
way back when we were first doing Game It All, we were still building the show. We were still figuring out what we were doing. But I think over the years, me and Luke have beat it down and really figured it out of how we're doing it.
Now it's like the implementation stage, which is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and like we've gotten to the point that we've figured out how Game It All like Game It All Live works and how its strengths of how to run it correctly, and that's it took some time to get it correctly working. And so that's what we're going to be doing with this in the coming months. So hopefully everything.
Be weekly or bi-weekly?
It's going to be weekly. Next week, Deadpool's coming out, so Saturday I'm not going to be home. So we are going to be doing this on Friday.
We can tack it on before the Game It All podcast.
Yeah, just for next week, we're going to be doing it on the Friday. And I'm going to be running it again on Friday. Like, I'm going to be running both pieces on Friday because Luke has better things. He's decided he's got better things to do than this because he decided, oh, hey, I'm going to go watch a movie.
They're not even playing it in my region, so I want them to just, fuck off.
So I will be running both podcasts. So we're just going to be running one podcast with TechItall and Game It All bundle jumble together in a two-parter. So, Rick, if you want to join us, if you can join us on Friday, you
That
can.
all depends on the time. But yeah,
Uh,
I should be free.
we usually run Game It All quite late at like 11, isn't it?
It's usually at 11, yeah. So if we run it at, say, 10 o'clock, then
Yeah,
we'll just do an hour of tech and then an hour of game and all.
would that be cool with you?
Yeah, that should be fine. I'll just make
Okay.
myself another pot of coffee and drink another 4.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that yeah. Oh, Luke's messaging me. He
might
said
not be you.
Oh, he said yep. I don't know why he said yep.
Maybe he's responding to whoever was talking before him.
Yeah,
I don't
which was
know.
probably me.
Yeah. He's probably wondering what the hell we're doing. But yeah, I will figure out some content, and same as what I'm doing with the rest of what I'm doing on the site.
This whole time I've been playing Civ 5 in the background. In the initial part of our run, I was actually having it streamed as my video, but I guess Google didn't like that. I'm not sure if that was the actual cause, but then we just crashed and everything died.
I don't know. I essentially closed down all my tabs and closed down Chrome and brought it all back up, and it started up again and everything worked. I was having a crap load of issues and nothing was
Could it
working.
be because you're the one hosting?
I don't know. It just did not let me share when I was trying to start up the Chrome. When I was trying to start up Hangouts, it just did not want to play nice with me.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was just, I don't know. It started working, so all is good. And but yeah, we'll have more scripted videos in the coming, like next week. I want to do like, what should we do next week? Like,
drugs. Just lots of drugs.
We're not doing drugs. We have stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could do. I don't know.
Talk about PC games specifically?
That would be very interesting.
Maybe we can talk about how we initially got into PC gaming.
Oh, I won!
Oh.
Science win, motherfucker!
Science win.
Science win. There you go. Hashtag science win.
I ended the game like in the last 25 turns. I had a stockpile of like 11 nuclear missiles.
Oh,
and a lot of background money, so I launched them all, and every time I launched it, my game would stop for a few seconds, and then I restocked myself for the next turn, and then I just started decimating all the cities.
Welcome to Civ 5.
And on top of that, I was playing, up until the last few turns, I was playing peacefully. I had no wars except for 1 or 2 that were declared against me. But I did not actively go out. I did not piss anybody off intentionally. And then just, apocalypse. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting the good old wrap it up, please.
Yeah, we've been talking for like an hour and a half now.
I know. So yeah, next week we'll have a scripted episode. It's going to be awesome next week. We'll actually know what we're talking about. Yeah, we'll figure out a topic and we'll go from there. And shout out the brands that you love for branding. I'm going with Asus.
Asus, yeah.
And what's the brand for my headphones?
SteelSeries.
SteelSeries, I adore it. And old school IBM when they used to be awesome. Adelaris?
Back during 1940s, right?
Yes, back in the 40s.
Oh wait, am I thinking of a different company? No, that was IBM. Yeah.
Samsung Galaxies.
I forgot about that.
If you want a phone that does what you want a phone to do and not crap you out or sell out your naked pictures to celebrities, that's the one.
Okay.
Or if you don't like being bothered on a phone, you can be like me and not have one.
That too.
That'll do.
All right. Is that it?
That's
And that's it. Okay, that's it for this week. Hey, if you I don't know who would enjoy this video. It wasn't that great.
It'll get better.
People like
It'll
to
get
see
better.
others suffer, maybe. Sadists.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll make a better job next week because I will actually care and script it out. Hashtag I'm bringing you all of my love. So yeah, for TechItall, no, for GameItall presents TechItall, the podcast with Pino 25 and the rest of the boys. Yeah, this is Pino 25.
Adler's. See?
And black screen Ricky.
Black screen Ricky, mother, yeah. All right, so we'll bring it back next Friday for a special episode that's on Friday because Grim had better things to do. He decided to bail on us and go watch a movie.
Which movie?
I like how you bring that up every possible moment you can.
Deadpool.
I really want to go watch it too, but I haven't been to the movies in a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it on Saturday.
I want to watch it, but it's not playing anywhere near me. I got to drive 2 hours to the nearest place. Screw that.
All right, so we'll talk about this on Friday.
All right. Take care.
Good night. Good night.